Everyone, I am Monica from IELTS Night channel. Okay, so this is my channel. Okay, I'm not saying anything to do like and subscribe. At the end, you can do it. So here, this question, this exam, 11th February 2023 IELTS exam. So in this exam, there was one writing task 1, that is table chart. Let's read it. This is annual salaries of jobs 2006 in Australia. Okay, so I will show you the question statement. So this is the question statement. You can see the table gives information about annual salaries of 5 employment sectors in Australia in 2006. So this is the question statement. After getting, so here I will in this video I will focus on how to get into how to write details of any table chart. Okay, so I will show you 3 options how you can write it. Okay, and which one is the best I will also tell you at the end. So here so after getting the question statement and the table chart, what you are going to do, you are going to analyze the question, this chart. So first always read the title of the table. This is annual salaries, means income of jobs people in Australia in 2006. There they have given 5 employment sectors: sales, engineering, IT and telecom, education, traveling, and then there are 3 groups: maximum, minimum and average. So here now try to notice any first you have to notice highest and the minimum and the upward or downward trend and the stable kind of trend you need to know. Okay, so here you just read maximum first. So I can see this is the highest in this maximum group, and the lowest they are almost nearby. Okay, 69 and 67,000 Australian dollar. The data is calibrated in Australian dollar. Only 2,000 gap is there between these 2 sectors. Okay, now in minimum, here who is the maximum? So this you can say engineering sector is at the highest, and lowest of course they are following the same trend. Here 2,000 gap, here only 1,000 gap. Okay, so in average what you can see, 80,000. So again engineering sector consequently in minimum and average it is at number 1 position, and of course last 2 sectors are always at the last rank. Here a difference between these 2 are 5,000 Australian dollars, and here it was 1 and here it was 2,000. So while reading we have come to know these 2 sectors are following each other, and hardly difference only difference of 2,000, 1,000 and 5,000 is there. And in maximum this is the first number, and after that engineering sector is following him, following sales, and here in both the minimum and average we have engineer sector. Okay, now first we will look at the introduction, and we will look at the overall, and then I will tell you how to just write details into body paragraphs. I will show you 3 methods. Okay, so now you can see the question statement, how I have converted into, how I have paraphrased the statement into the introduction. The presented table chart. So I have added the word the presented table chart compares the statistical data about salaries of 5 employment sectors. So we have written about workers' wage incomes or salaries. Salaries annually I have forgot, or yearly you can write, who worked in 5 different sectors. Now here if you want to if you want to add more words, then here you can write in bracket, you can write 5 different sectors name. These are sales, technology and all. Okay, so here in Australia in the year 2006. So I have changed it. Now one more thing is left, the data is represented in, or I have already told you, represented in or calibrated in. You can write the word, you just use one word, either represented or calibrated, in Australian dollar. Okay, So this sign you have to make it. Now second body paragraph, that is overall point. Overall, it is quite apparent that the employees from engineering and IT telecom sectors received the highest throughout the minimum and average group, except sales employment sector in maximum group. Okay, so now we are going to talk about education and training sectors shared the lowest point in every group. So this is overall kind of thing. Now come to the main point, that is detailing paragraph. So how to write body paragraph in writing task 1? So it's very important point. So some students, they can't compare the things. If you can't compare, then just take categories and just write it down. 5.5 definitely you will get it. If you want more bands, then you have to bring the language of compare and contrast. In fact, in real, you have to compare the things with each other. Okay, so yes, so I was telling you, first you can take category wise, you can take categories. Which categories we were having? We were having sales, employment, and or you can take group wise. We were having three groups, maximum, minimum, and average. So you can just do it. But point here is, whatever the method you will be applying, please compare and contrast thing will come in task 1. Without comparing, you will not get good bands, I'm telling you. Okay, now I have just I will explain it to you. Detail paragraph number 1 and detail paragraph number 2, how I have done it. So simply I have just written here a simple method. In 2006, the first I have taken according to categories. So now category wise I am going to explain it. In 2006, the first employment sector, which is sales, the maximum annual salary of employees was this much, maximum. So maximum group, and Australian to 27,000 in minimum, and in average this. So simply I have just written the information given about sales sector in 3 groups. Now next, while the engineering sector employees get this much of amount in maximum, this much of amount in minimum, and 70,000 Australian dollars in average sector. So again, although I have used this while word, okay, so at least if you don't know anything, then take category wise and just write information about group wise, everything. Now first paragraph we have written about engineering and sales. Now in second paragraph, now we have left 3 more categories, and in case of IT and telecommunication sector employees, they received this much in maximum, this much is minimum, and this much in average. I am telling, for those who don't know how to compare and contrast, at least you just write everything whatever given, and while shifting to another category, you just use these words, like on the other hand, and here I have used while. So that will also give good bands. Okay, so now next 2 categories I have combined. Education and traveling workers got or earned this much and this much in maximum group. In the minimum group, they received this much and this much respectively, while in the last group, average, these last 2 categories earned 50,000 Australian dollars and 45,000. Here if you want to do, you can bring difference also. Instead of writing this, you can bring difference, 5,000 difference. Okay, so you can just write like this. Simple method I have told you. You can just note it down. If you can't understand anything in table chart or bar, just simply write everything whatever they have given by distributing the categories and by combining 2 or 3 categories. If there are more categories are there. Okay, now another method, take groups. Categories we have discussed, like employment and all. Groups we will talk about maximum, minimum, and average, and comparing the things. I will show it to you. Now here, this was the table that we have discussed about category wise. I have already shown it to you. Now I will be discussing it minimum, maximum, average. it's all your wish whether you take this wise or you go for this wise. Okay, you don't know anything, you just think you don't know anything, you just write everything whatever is given. So introduction and overall I have already shown it to you. Now body paragraphs. In first I have given maximum group, then I will be telling in minimum group, then I will be explaining in case of average. Although this method includes so many words, but doesn't matter. I have seen in many in many writing task 1 at the end of Cambridge IELTS books. So beautifully, if you have drawn your writing task 1, you can get 7 or 7 plus also in writing task 1. Everything you have framed it in a good manner with using these contrast words, you will get marks. So doesn't matter what kind of maximum things you are just adding. Like I will show it to you. You can see I have given this much of paragraph, although this is bigger paragraph, but you can combine the things. You can just bring out, you can just shorten the paragraph. Initially you do like this, and then you will get some expert or experience that you should shorten the paragraph. In 2006, in maximum group I am talking, so don't write this paragraph name. So I have written because I want to show it to you. In 2006, the Australian employees pay stood highest at Australian. This information in maximum group, which ranked. Now I'm using different kind of sentence structure, which ranked at first position among other sectors. So this is comparison. And followed by engineering employment sector, employees which earn second highest salaries at this much. On the contrary, IT and telecommunication, actually these categories names are too much, that's why it is bigger one. So sector was at this much amount difference from the engineering workers salary. Now I have given difference. I am comparing this category and this category by giving the difference. Whilst less difference could be seen between the incomes of education and travelling sectors workers, which was merely 2000 Australian dollar. Now I have brought a difference. I have written difference. In different way I am writing the details. Okay. Now in minimum, you can see in minimum, engineering and IT telecom sectors were sharing almost same annual incomes, which were 38,000 and 35,000 this respectively. When you are combining the information regarding two, then at the end please write this word respectively. Surprisingly, the sales sector represented itself at the actual lowest range of salaries, which figured out at 27,000. Okay, and the same proportion of difference illustrated like here. By last two sectors, education and travelling, accounted to 33,000 and this and respectively. Okay, see, now this time I have shortened this here. In this paragraph I have given two details. Okay, now in case of average, as usual the engineering and IT telecom sectors comprised at similar difference of Australian this at 1000 only difference between engineering and IT department. So you can see here engineering and IT department were at only 1000 difference, whereas the last two sectors displayed an improvement in maximum difference at 5000. There was improvement in maximum difference, here 2000, here 1000, here 5000 from this 5000 from 1000 in minimum group. Okay, from, because we are talking improvement in maximum, the improvement in not maximum, this is average, in average difference at 5000 Australian from 1000 in minimum group. Okay, now this has raised from 1000 to 5000. Now this way you can write body paragraphs. You can see this better way to write full writing task 1. because these sectors name are too lengthy, that's why it has become too lengthy, but you can shorten it like that, maximum, like minimum and average. But initially the maximum group was having more things, that's why I have written more things in maximum. Okay, thank you so much.